Hello.
Is this good?
Yes, this is better.
Is this what you wanted?
It's
what I wanted.
It looks infinitely.
The whole time. The whole time.
It just looks
You
better.
know what movie that's from?
No, I don't know.
You were him the whole time? The whole time?
Yes, we're on now.
It's from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
What's her name is a master class in it.
Oh, Sally Fields.
Sally
Fields. I'm having some really bad English today.
Okay.
English is hard, everyone. And sometimes my brain goes, Sally Fields is not the name. It's Sarah. And I go, Sarah Lee.
I know what you mean.
That's when I combined the name in my brain, and out came Sarly.
That's the lesser known field singer.
And I'm Sarly.
Get back in there.
And I'm Janice. That's my favorite video of Kristen Wiig. Oh my.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you do have opening.
Okay, great. Hopefully English is working now. Welcome to Chit Chats, a totally unedited space where we break the cycle of what it means to be a woman together. Very exciting. All right, shall we pick a card?
We shall. Ready?
Okay, great.
It's going to be loud. Forewarning.
Yes. We do this to make sure you're up. Because they can go a lot of places. Just kidding, they can't. You choose.
Oh.
I was like, me? No.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, okay.
Break your biz. Discuss how you can put yourself out of business.
Oh, man. I feel like this is...
Maybe not. This is the best card to be talking about, right? You know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time we just talk. So Emily and I are very transparent about the struggles that we go through.
Oh, God.
And I think a lot of times we talk about that running a podcast with two people is very hard. It is so much easier to run a business by yourself when you're in charge of one person. There's not
your ideas are the only ones that matter.
Yeah, it's pretty much an echo chamber. You do whatever you want when you want. But when you work with two people, you're going to have vastly different ideas of how you want something to run.
Balance is very important.
Yes. So how we could put ourselves out of business, I think a really good way of doing that is not communicating.
Yeah.
And holding things in. And
Stephanie is calling me out right
now.
No, it's through her eyes. I see it. We just had a conversation and she was like, you have to communicate with me. And as I told Stephanie, Stephanie is my only friend here in South Florida. I have other friends. I know that I say that I don't have a lot of friends.
You do.
But I do have very
good, lovely friends.
Yes, they just are not here.
Right.
And my greatest fear is telling Stephanie something and having her disappear. I know it's not going to happen rationally in my brain.
She'd have to murder my family to not.
Well, talking about. No.
Yeah. So speaking of,
but that is one of my greatest fears. So I tend to hold things in because I just don't want to ruffle feathers.
And conflict is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is not easy to voice an opinion, especially when you are a people pleaser. And I think Emily and I are both for sure recovering people pleasers.
Hello, my name is Emily.
Yeah, I would say that we're good at breaking that habit, but with different things. Like there's certain things that I don't. So for me, I always feel like in a good friendship, you're going to voice when something upsets you. Excuse me, so many liquids today.
All the liquids.
But you obviously, I think, allowing yourself to calm down and not be in a heightened emotional state when you have a conversation is key. But in the friendships I've had in the past where I don't speak up, I get very resentful, and then it doesn't really even feel like a friendship. it just kind of feels like I'm being like bullied, and then I'm not like speaking up, and then I'm mad, and it's a whole mess.
Yeah,
so
it is a mess.
I think communicating is very important, and also knowing that tough conversations, much like anxiety, doesn't mean when you feel uncomfortable, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are in danger or that the friendship's gonna end.
Yeah.
So
getting comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think honestly the biggest thing that can break our business is us. Right? Like that's it. Like we're gonna have tough conversations. That's super important to us. I think as we've done a bit more political issues, controversial issues, spoken about them. That is important to Stephanie and I. We do live in a very strange state that unfortunately is very polarized, and we don't feel similarly to a lot of those people that live in this lovely state we call Florida. It gets a bad name, and it's because of those people. So putting education out there and sharing our thoughts and ideas and how we can move forward, and especially our state, has been very important. And we've been more vocal about, I think, our political views and where we kind of stand on things. At first, I went into it where I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I kind of wanted to be able to skirt by.
We both kind of did. I think we were both really cautious on being like, but we understand if you feel X, Y, and Z. And I think now that we've gotten more comfortable in what we talk about, we're like, no, science is real. Religious trauma is real. Like I don't think we're shy because that's our stories, and we're not.
That's our own narrative.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to get some super hardcore conservative, gun-toting, American flag waving, like, America. I'll have a conversation with you, but I don't think that I'm gonna change your mind necessarily. So I don't mind having a conversation, but I think at this point we've learned how to like not engage in things that it's kind of a waste of breath. I'd rather focus on the people that are willing to learn and willing to have a conversation. Yeah,
so I think besides those conversations that I guess could break our business.
Right.
I think it really is just us. It really is just us communicating and growing together and knowing that we work differently and propelling ourselves forward from there, because we are very different people. We work very differently, but there is so much strength in differences. And I think I sometimes forget that, because what I lack, Stephanie really has. And I think what Stephanie lacks, I make up for. So that's why I think we actually balance each other out really well. But sometimes there are just things, because I am so fearful of losing her. And also, she's going to disappear.
I also think it's a bit of a
trauma response.
And a control thing.
Because I am not a controlling person. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been controlling in my life.
I am one of the biggest procrastinators you will ever meet. And I have managed to befriend some of the most timely and advanced humans I have ever met. Like, I don't think I have a single friend that procrastinates as much as I do. Period. And I don't know why that is. Could be I just really admire that you guys have a different brand of anxiety, a different flavor, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
What would my flavor of anxiety be?
Part of me just wishes that I could be so anxious I get stuff done early instead of being like so anxious and overwhelmed that I'm like, I don't even want to look at it.
What would your Ben & Jerry's flavor be of anxiety?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right?
So
I'm gonna think about it too.
Ben & Jerry's flavor of anxiety. So what are the...
Well, there's like the Midnight Show, salted caramel. They have some funky flavors. American Dream Cone is one of their flavors.
I think it's the one that has
fish food.
Well, I think it's the one that has like Swedish
you can make up your own. Yeah, that's fish food.
Mine is it's like you're not sure if you like it at first.
Oh.
And you cannot stop eating it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, oh my God, this was not this was not what I wanted. This was not it. But
and you just end up finishing.
But you you finish it and you keep
it.
crying it because you're like, God, there was just some, it's like a nose ring. Okay, I might be the only freakazoid that feels this, but if you feel this too, let me know. Nose piercings are notorious for having a smell. Notorious. But there's like a part of me that oddly kind of enjoys it. They're like not great. It smells like rotting flesh. Like belly button,
10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10 needed in a spray. It goes in my bag. No, but it like there's something about it, like I got so used to it that it like sometimes it's like a nostalgic thing. It's so hard to explain without sounding like disgusting. So it's kind of like that. I think that's my Ben and Jerry's flavor, is like you're not sure if you like it, then it grows on you, and then you're like repurchasing it. You're like, you know what? I can't believe like I didn't like this at first, but I kind of love this paired with
imagine
chocolate
like
and
the name Sludge something in the title.
Yeah.
Sludgy time or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And or it just kind of looks like sludge.
Yeah, it's like you're like, that looks like somebody diarrheaed in this pint, and it's like so good though you can't stop eating it. That's what it is.
So bad.
No, that's
diarrhea
what it is.
Time?
Diarrhea time. And you're like, wow, this looks absolutely atrocious. You take one spoonful of it and you're like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
My ice cream would be Perfectionist Pink.
Pink? So it would be all pink.
Is what it would be called. I think it would be like cotton candy flavor. Meanwhile, I don't like this flavor, so
like I don't even like cotton candy.
I don't even like that. Well, I love cotton candy. Don't get me
really?
wrong. Yeah. We had it at our wedding.
I can't even remember what day it is. You think I'm gonna remember your wedding
Friday
from years ago?
I know, crazy. 4 years, but yeah.
Was it 4?
It's gonna be 4 next week. It's nuts. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be called Perfectionist Pink. It's a pink ice cream. I think it's cotton candy flavored. It's got like pink bubblegum pieces in it, and
it's perfectly layered.
Sprinkles, yeah, and like also glitter. So you're just like ingesting a unicorn, basically.
The container is very clean.
Very clean, very, very minimal, very nice line.
It's pink with white lettering, and that's it.
That's it. And like you eat it, and you're like,
I'm gonna save some of this.
This is very sweet.
And I'm gonna have a little bit every day.
Yeah.
And my goal is to finish.
Yes, exactly. So that,
and
it like
30
tells
days.
You how much on the ice cream, how much you can eat as you go down. Exactly. This is it for today. Don't have any more, girl. Don't do it. You got this. Too late.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Like one of those water bottles.
Yes, but in reverse.
So I have another thing that could put us out of business. That could potentially put us out of business if we don't get our P's and Q's.
Okay.
A baby.
A baby.
Someone having a baby, or one of us moving away.
That would be.
And both of those things are very likely to eventually happen at some point.
Yes, we've spoken about this. The baby thing is definitely in the cards for my husband and I.
Yeah.
No time soon, please. But it's definitely something that we would like to do eventually. Maybe we're also at this kind of point where we're like, we're gonna check in like 2.5 years once he's done with grad school and kind of see how we feel about the baby thing then, because like I'm pretty solid right now. I gotta be honest.
It's hard out here.
It's real hard out here.
I mean, anybody that's raising children right now, I give them full credit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a giant baby.
Those things cost a lot of money. And to be honest, I don't have a lot of money.
I'm also extremely selfish. I don't want to share my money with a baby. I just don't. Like, I work too hard.
Yeah.
Again, the liquids are just attacking my system.
Oh my gosh.
My reproductive organs are like, what do you mean?
But no, so yes, a baby could be, and then we've spoken about if you move.
If I move away.
If you move to the other
coast. I always
coast.
seem to find all of these men that don't live here.
They live elsewhere.
They live in different states.
Like my daddy.
Different, yeah.
You're like Papa Steve. There you go. Yeah, so
these are all things, but there's stuff that I think that we're trying to build to work through.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we've spoken about the baby thing.
death, someone
Oh
dying.
my God. God forbid I didn't even think about that. No, I'm not even going to talk about that. But the moving thing we've spoken about. Luckily, most of what we do can be done
remotely.
And
it's not like I'd ever be a million miles away, because
Yeah.
the truth is, by that point, I'm already I'm like the car queen. I live out of my car
she
part-time.
does. That's true.
I, at this point, want to install a chandelier and like just make it a running joke that my car is also a bedroom, because I spend so much time in it. So I'm not opposed to driving.
Yeah, and we said that like we would drive.
We'd go back and forth.
Kind of back and forth,
Yeah.
so that we can do chit chats and we can do other things. So like all of these things have been addressed.
Yeah.
So
we don't want any of our 4 subscribers to worry. Any 4 of you that watch and comment, don't worry. Cycle
we're
Chats
not
is
going
sticking around
anywhere
for you.
for you. No, we have many more people that do.
I mean, anything really, if you put your mind to it, could break a business.
But we're not going anywhere.
No.
That's
and
a big thing for us.
Yeah,
Is
and
that we're not going anywhere.
communication will always be key.
Yep. We're getting better every time we get into this space where we kind of have this kerfuffle.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting better and we're learning from it. So
Well, we're 2 different people, right? And this is something
we
I
are.
think this is a great way to wrap up.
Let's do it.
So we have talked at length about how I am going through a much different phase of my life than Emily is in. And so with each phase, we are finding things that we agree on and then don't agree on. So I'm starting to settle more into a domesticated life. So it's starting to become more work and then friend time and then time with partner.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is starting to level out. Now we're in a different phase. So I'm not quite at the marriage house husband, but I'm sure that when I get there, then we'll enter a different phase. So I think we're pretty close to a kind of idea of like what we want to do and where we are in life.
Yeah.
And I think eventually one day it'll finally line up. And I think with every leveling that we go up to, it's going to change. I'm sure when she has if you choose to have a baby with your husband, that will change as well. And then we will be on different pages again.
And it will be a big change.
Yeah, and it's there's so many different factors that play into it. But really anything could break a business, but what builds it up is, I will always say, it's communication, it's good decision making, and it's learning to trust that you have each other's back and knowing that you want the best for the business, and like sometimes checking yourself too and putting the mirror in front of yourself to say, okay, how have I been maybe looking at this differently?
Yeah.
Because we don't do this full time.
We literally were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Right? We literally were doing a cover photo for YouTube, and you were like, yeah, I kind of was like, well, I need to get this done for Emily.
I said I have to get this done for Emily, and then I stopped and I realized I was like, Cycle Chats is also just as much me as it is her. And I think what's hard is that when we live 2 very wildly different work lives, and I have a tendency to get completely consumed by my work, and it's something I love to do. I'm very passionate about. Emily she brings it home a little bit, but I feel like you're better at clocking. Yeah, like you clock out, you grade those papers, and like that's it. You don't bring 150 students home with you. Like my mind is always going on when's the next makeup look and when's the next, and that's how I've always been. And so it's kind of just learning to refocus, to either it be for her to pull back and trust, or for me to move forward and reframe how I choose to look at it. So
yeah,
this was
great.
This was
I
interesting.
Like that we prejudged this question. This was
yeah,
lovely.
yeah, because I think what's there's a thing that happens with Chinese pottery that when it breaks.
Oh, when it breaks, you just put it together. I forget.
But you put it together with gold.
Yes, I forget the name of that type of pottery. But yes, it's a big thing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, this was great.
Like, comment, subscribe. You can find these beautiful shirts as well as some new additions to the family over at, you guessed it, www.cyclechats.com. Liza. So you can go over there and you can check it out. Liza Minnelli approved. Yeah. I don't know. That was.
I love it. Great.
On that note, we hope you sync up with us next time. Just Jack. Just Jack. Next is gonna be Cher.
Oh.